Welcome to Lucifer's Rituals. Today, we've gathered to investigate the legend of the gas station's devil-worshipping serial killer. According to police records, this incident happened exactly 30 years ago. A serial killer and around 15 unfortunate victims. Many paranormal investigators who have explored the area claim that Salem, the killer, is still performing his rituals. But how is that possible? According to the records, Salem died nearly 30 years ago. No more waiting. Let's begin the investigation. The wind howled through the trees, sending dry leaves skittering across the road. Jake and Ryan stood by the roadside, camera rolling. They had only a flashlight and a small backpack with them. The road was empty. The silence was eerie. Jake turned to the camera with a slight smirk. "Hey, everyone. Tonight, we're bringing you what might be our scariest investigation yet. We're about to walk to Salem's abandoned gas station, a place where, 30 years ago, a series of brutal murders took place. Rumor has it that Salem's spirit still haunts the area. Real or fake? We're here to find out." Ryan shifted the camera, capturing the empty, unsettling landscape around them. Jake continued, "As you all know, we investigate paranormal stories submitted by our followers. This gas station's legend has been sent to us by hundreds of people. If the stories are true, we'll find traces of Salem tonight." He paused, glancing toward the dark forest behind him, then took a deep breath. "Now, we know we're not alone out here. You're with us. So drop a comment below, help us investigate, and if you spot anything weird, let us know just like detectives." Ryan gave a small nod, refocusing the camera on Jake. Jake adjusted his backpack and narrowed his eyes. "All right, are you ready? Because we're heading straight for Salem's station." They turned on their flashlights and started walking down the dark road. Every step was accompanied by the whisper of wind and the rustling of leaves. The deeper they went, the eerier the night became. Suddenly, a distant dog barked. Jake and Ryan froze, glancing around. The barking grew louder, echoing through the darkness. Jake swallowed hard and turned to the camera. "They say dogs can see things we can't. If there's something here, they've probably sensed it first." Ryan panned the camera around, but nothing was visible. Yet the barking intensified. Multiple dogs now, reacting to something unseen. Then, a faint rustling sound came from the forest. Jake swung his flashlight toward the noise. Branches swayed, leaves tumbled, but nothing was there. Just as they were about to move on, a sharp, metallic noise cut through the silence. It sounded like a blade being sharpened. Ryan jerked the camera in the direction of the sound, but by the time the light reached the spot, everything was still. "You've got to be kidding me," Jake whispered. As they walked, faint noises followed them like footsteps, just beyond their reach. At one point, Ryan spun around, camera shaking, convinced he'd heard a twig snap behind him, but no one was there. Jake let out a nervous chuckle. If Salem's spirit is really here, it seems like he enjoys playing games first. Ryan remained silent, his grip tightening on the camera. They picked up the pace, their breaths quickening as tension filled the air. Finally, the gas station came into view. As it did, a cold gust of wind rushed past them, rattling tree branches and lifting dead leaves into the air. Jake shivered, pulling his jacket tighter. This place is even creepier than I imagined. Then, as Jake walked, his foot crunched down on something unusual. A hollow, brittle sound echoed under his shoe. Ryan aimed the camera down, eyes widening. "Jake, you just stepped on bones." Jake leaped back, cursing. "What? No way!" Ryan shone his light on the ground. Splintered bones, darkened with age and stained with something ominous. Could it be? Animal bones? Ryan's voice trembled with uncertainty. Jake crouched, hesitating before picking up a piece. The bone was cracked, discolored. Ryan zoomed in. This looks human, Jake murmured. Another gust of wind swept through the trees, and suddenly, a faint whispering sound drifted through the air. It was distant, guttural, impossible to decipher. Jake and Ryan exchanged wide-eyed glances. Ryan's voice wavered. Maybe we should leave. Jake turned to the camera, his jaw tightening. No, we came here to find the truth. If this is really a human bone, then this story might be real. They pressed forward, despite the warning in their instincts. The gas station loomed ahead, and deep inside, something told them to turn back, but it was too late. A strange silence blanketed the area. The streets were empty, no signs of life. Yet, parked in front of the gas station was an old car. The headlights were on. Jake and Ryan froze. "What the hell?" Ryan whispered, zooming in on the vehicle. Jake swallowed, stepping closer. This place has been abandoned for 30 years. So why is there a car here? Ryan nervously scanned the area. Is someone inside? Jake lifted his flashlight, trying to peer through the windshield. The glass was thick with dust and grimed, too filthy to see through. Then, from inside the car, a faint creaking noise echoed. The rearview mirror trembled, as if something had just brushed against it. A loud bang erupted from inside the gas station. Jake and Ryan jumped. They locked eyes. Then Jake, voice unsteady, whispered, "I think we're being invited inside." Ryan clutched the camera tighter. Is this really a good idea? But turning back was no longer an option. Inside, they found candles still burning, objects untouched, despite decades of abandonment. A fresh bottle of water sat on a table. Someone had been here recently. A foul, acidic stench filled the air. It wasn't just an old building. It was a ritual site. Glass jars filled with human eyes lined the shelves. Severed fingers floated in murky liquid. Symbols, drawn in what looked like blood, covered the walls. Then footsteps outside. A shadow darted past the window. The building trembled with sudden force. Windows rattled. Something was watching them, and it wasn't hiding anymore. Then silence. A radio crackled to life from outside. The sound came from the old car. They stepped toward it, cautiously. As they approached, they saw something they hadn't noticed before. A corpse sat in the driver's seat. Fresh, and it hadn't been there when they arrived. Jake and Ryan were frozen in terror. Whoever put the body there was still nearby. Realizing they needed to act fast, Jake pulled 2 small mirrors from his bag. "Ryan, take this. If this is Salem's spirit, we have one shot at stopping it." Agonized screams filled the air. Though unseen, Salem was there. Jake's hands trembled as he lit the remaining candles. The ritual had begun. The voices grew louder, the walls vibrating. Ryan's breath hitched. "Jake, hurry. He's suffering." Jake's voice was firm. "If we don't stop him now, he'll haunt us forever. We can't take that risk." With one final incantation, Jake grabbed a stone from the floor and shattered both mirrors. Everything went silent. The candles flickered out. A cold wind swept through the station. Jake and Ryan bolted, running as fast as their legs could carry them. But they failed to notice one thing. The abandoned car and the corpse had vanished. Welcome to the Lucifer's Rituals channel. Tonight, we're heading to a place that even the most fearless paranormal investigators wouldn't dare to enter. The cursed house of the man who was said to be married to the demoness Nama. We will spend the night in this house to see with our own eyes if the legend is real. But we need your help on this journey. we might experience hundreds of paranormal events. And sometimes we may miss important details. So please, watch closely like a detective. If you hear or see anything unusual, let us know in the comments. Jake asks Ryan what time it is. Ryan responds, saying it's 2:30 a.m.
Hey Ryan, can you show the time on your phone to the camera?
Oh, of course. Look, guys, it's already past 2:30 a.m.
You know, after midnight, the Ifrits are released. We need to be extremely careful. Ryan, do you have anything to add?
Ryan gives a short but firm response.
Let's just get started.
Jake and Ryan walk through a pitch-dark, desolate forest, their footsteps crunching against the dried leaves. The moonlight barely filters through the thick branches above, casting eerie shadows along the path. Suddenly, a sharp rustling sound comes from their right, stopping them in their tracks.
What? What was that?
Jake whispers, shakily pointing the camera towards the sound. Ryan scans the area.
Jack, probably just an animal. Let's keep going.
But as soon as they take another step, a branch snaps on their left. Both freeze. The camera trembles as Jake quickly shines his flashlight towards the noise. But there's nothing there.
I really don't like this.
In the distance, an enormous, decayed wooden structure appears. As they get closer, they notice the old wooden shutters slightly swaying in the wind. The rusted iron gate at the entrance looks untouched for decades, its engravings faded, yet still eerie.
Do you think coming to this house was the right move? Ryan, I don't know if you realize how serious this is, but if we end up seeing Nama or her husband, we could be in way more danger than we thought.
I know, Jake, but we've come this far, and I really don't want to leave without seeing something. Look at this place, it's completely rusted. I swear no one has set foot in here for at least 100 years.
I can feel the temperature dropping even more. Dude, remember the sounds we heard on the way here? And right now, it feels like someone or something is watching us.
Come on, Jake. I whispered a few prayers I know. I hope they work and protect us from the demons, even just a little. You know Nama's story, Jake.
All right, we're almost at the house. Just look at how majestic it looks. It's falling apart, but it's like something, maybe even a spell, keeping it from collapsing. This place looks even more terrifying than the stories say.
Jake lifts the camera and points it towards the house. Just then, a shadow moves across the second-floor window. Ryan's excitement from earlier was completely gone.
Did we get that? Please tell me we got that on film.
I swear, I saw something in the window. It looked human, but Ryan, I'm losing my mind. No one could live in a place like this. It's impossible.
I want to check the camera footage, dude. Come on, there really was a shadow there. But I swear to you, man, that thing, it couldn't have been human.
Jake and Ryan, shaken by what they just saw, hesitate to enter the house and decide to start their investigation from the yard instead. The wild grass has grown so tall that it nearly reaches their height. Taking a deep breath, they step into the overgrown yard. As they push open the front door, a wave of rotting wood and mold hits them. Jake raises the camera, capturing the moment they cross the threshold into legend.
I see bugs and spiders everywhere. That alone should be proof that no one lives here. I think we might be the first people to come here in decades.
Make sure to film everything. Look, there's a pickaxe and a few shovels. I really hope this isn't some kind of ritual sign. And honestly, I don't even want to say it. But if I have to mention part of the story, after Nama married that man, she demanded 3 sacrifices as her dowry, and they had to be buried in the ground. But she also made one thing clear: the sacrifices wouldn't be animals. Do you get what I'm saying, Jake?
The mere thought of stumbling upon a few dead bodies made Jake and Ryan tremble with fear. All they wanted was to capture a few glimpses of spirits or demons. But as they carefully scanned their surroundings, they suddenly heard what sounded like footsteps coming from the upper floor. It was as if something was trying to make them feel its presence, as if it knew they were here.
She stay quiet, Jake. I swear I hear footsteps coming from upstairs.
I thought I was just hearing things, but you hear those footsteps too.
It was finally time to enter the house. After coming all this way, there was no turning back. As they approached the house, they shined their flashlights at the windows. It seemed like dark shadows were passing by each window at intervals. They thought they were starting to hallucinate out of fear, but one question never crossed their minds. How could we both see the same hallucination?
Jake, something is wrong here, man. If only one of us saw it, I'd brush it off. But we're both seeing the exact same thing at the same time. How is that even possible?
I don't know, but this is turning into something way darker than we thought. Let's just get inside, set up those damn cameras, and get the hell out of here.
Mumbling to themselves, they made their way to the front door. Luckily for them, the house had fallen into ruin, and the door had long since been freed from its lock. With a slight push, it creaked open all the way. It was eerie.
Look how old this house is, man. What the hell? I swear I heard footsteps from here. But in a wreck like this, neither a human nor an animal could live.
Watch where you step. Bro, a rusty nail or worse, anything could be here. A dead animal, a spell, or even a trap.
The house looks abandoned for years. The furniture is decayed, the walls covered in damp stains, and the floorboards creak with every step. Cobwebs hang from the ceiling like forgotten curtains. They had entered the ground floor of the house, but as they were talking among themselves, footsteps could once again be heard from upstairs. Then, suddenly, a window started slamming violently. It hit so hard that they thought the ground shook slightly. But the strangest part, there wasn't even the slightest breeze in the air at that moment. Both of them looked at each other in utter fear. Breathing had become increasingly difficult. Maybe it was their fear, but the air inside the house felt unbearably cold.
Did we just capture that?
This isn't a joke. We need to go upstairs.
As they ascend the staircase, every step groans beneath their weight. The upstairs hallway stretches before them, lined with old doors. One door at the end of the hall stands slightly ajar. When they push it open, they find something horrifying. As their eyes adjusted to the eerie dimness of the room, they realized the horrifying truth. What stood before them was no ordinary place. It was a shrine, an unholy altar meant to summon Nama into the world. Strange symbols were carved into the rotting wooden walls, pulsating faintly as if alive. At the center, surrounded by melted candles and dried bloodstains, lay an ancient book, its pages open to a language neither of them could understand. The air felt thick, suffocating, as if something unseen was watching them. Then, the candles flickered, violently despite the stillness of the air. A distant whisper slithered through the room, calling their names.
This is a ritual space. Someone summoned something here.
Ryan, look.
Ryan lifts his head, and standing in the doorway is a shadowy figure. It has the shape of a man, but its face. It's the very man from the legend, the one said to be married to Nama. Both stand frozen. The figure tilts its head slightly, staring at them. Though its face is obscured in darkness, its glowing eyes pierce through the shadows. The camera starts distorting, static hissing through the speakers. Ryan lets out a strangled scream and shoves the door shut, grabbing Jake's arm as they sprint out of the room. They race down the stairs as a deep growl shakes the house. The wooden steps behind them begin to collapse, splintering apart as if something is tearing them down. Reaching the door, Jake takes one final glance back, lifting the camera. The figure stands at the top of the staircase. Its face finally becomes visible. And it is not human. It is something far darker. Jake and Ryan let out terrified screams and bolt down the forest path, running for their lives. Sitting in the car, panting. Jake's hands are still shaking.
I can't believe what we recorded there. What the hell did we do? Please like this video. Just look at what we went through for you. That was definitely the man who was married to Nama.
That thing, it was watching us, and I think it still is.
If you're watching this video, whatever you do, don't go to that house.